very good morning, dear students, and welcome to today's session. In this session, we are going to continue with our discussion of the poem The Dolphins by Carroll and Duffy. And today in this class, we are going to discuss the remaining two stanzas of the poem, that is stanza 3 and stanza 4. Stanza 3 of the poem. And now we are no longer blessed, for the world will not deepen to dream in. The other knows, and out of love reflects me for myself. We see our silver skin flash by like memory of somewhere else. There is a colored ball we have to balance till the man has disappeared. Now let us try to understand that what does the poet mean to say in this particular stanza. Now through the line, and now we are no longer blessed, for the world will not deepen to dream in. The speaker dolphin tries to emphasize that they are no longer blessed, and the world in which they are now living, that is the man-made pool or the artificial pool, that world can never be compared with their previous world, that is ocean. The narrow and limited space of the present world cannot give directions to their dreams, suggesting that their dreams of freedom and independence are over in the shallow waters of the pool. So that makes their situation even more hopeless. In fact, the third stanza takes the readers to poignant heights through the loss of depth, which is the ocean. A sad reality of the dolphins is that their world will not deepen to dream in. That is, they have nothing beyond their present condition. They cannot hope their future to become better. So their future is dark and bleak. Their self-realization and self-fulfillment stops with the bottom of the pool. Now moving on to the next line. The other knows, and out of love reflects me for myself. The speaker dolphin here means to say that the dolphins living in the artificial habitat understand each other's helplessness. The speaker dolphin can see its own image in another dolphin living in the same pool. Here the poet has emphasized the mutual understanding between the dolphins and how they define themselves with reference to each other. The dolphin's companion is aware of their helplessness and tries to reduce its pain by being a sympathetic other dolphin. So why sympathetic other dolphin? Because they understand each other's feelings. The dolphins recall their past life when they were in the sea, and when the natural sunlight reflected off their skin, giving it a silvery appearance. So when the dolphins used to live in the ocean, they used to receive the natural sunlight, and the rays of the sun used to get reflected off their skin, thus giving it a silvery appearance. But now it appears to be an old memory of somewhere else. Their life has become a forgotten memory, and their identity a reflection on the aquarium glass, where they see the reflection flash by like memory of somewhere else. They have to perform tricks and balance the colored ball till the man who orders them goes away. Now, moving to the next stanza, that is stanza 4. Now, the stanza 4 being the last stanza of the poem is very important, and the stanza 4 states, "The moon has disappeared. We circle well-worn groups of water on a single note. Music of loss forever from the other's heart, which turns my own to stone. There is a plastic toy. There is no hope. We sink to the limits of this pool until the whistle blows. There is a man, and our mind knows we will die here." Now let us try to understand this particular stanza line by line. First, the moon has disappeared. What does it mean? Now, in the limited space of the enclosed area of the pool, the moon is no longer visible to the dolphins. This is what the line means literally. But taken at a deeper level, we will understand that the moon is the natural regulator of tides and waves in the sea. So, low tides and high tides in the sea are caused due to the attraction of the moon. So, the moon, which is the natural regulator of tides, thus indirectly it regulates the lives of dolphins. But now, this moon has disappeared for the dolphins. They are no longer able to see the moon in the sky. Instead, the moon has been replaced by man-made objects. So the ball which they have to balance, which is round, that is the substitute for the sphere of the night or for the moon. That we'll be discussing later. Now come to the next line. We circle well-worn groups of water on a single note. Now here, let us try to understand what does well-worn mean. Well-worn means to use something extensively. And then the another key word here is groups. Now groups refers to a particular type of musical rhythm. So well-worn means used extensively, and groups refers to a particular type of musical rhythm. So this line metaphorically refers to the monotonous circling of the dolphins at the sound of a whistle. Here note means the sound of the whistle, which is blown by the man to regulate the activities of the dolphins. So when the dolphins listen to the sound of that whistle, they perform different activities like jumping through the hoops or balancing a colored ball. And it is the same note, the single. The word single reflects the monotony in the different activities of the dolphins, and it also refers to the monotony in the sound of the whistle, because every day they have to listen to the sound of the same whistle. Now next line, music of loss forever from the other's heart, which turns my own to stone. Now here the music refers to the dolphin's song of loss of freedom, or we can say the dolphin's lamentation for the loss of freedom. The word forever signifies an endless time, and thus it suggests lack of hope in the life of the dolphins. So they are not going to achieve freedom for the rest of their life. They are aware of this reality, and that is denoted by the word forever. So forever they have to sing the song of the loss of their freedom. So there is no hope left in their life. The mournful voice of the dolphin's companion, caused by the loss of freedom and joy, turns the speaker dolphin's heart to stone. It shows that the dolphin has sympathy for its own species. Now, next line, we sink to the limits of the pool. Literally, if you understand, this line means that the dolphins sink to the bottom of the water in the limited space of the pool. They sink to the bottom of the water in the limited space of the pool. But taken on a metaphorical level, it means that the dolphins are dying. To sink means to die also. So the dolphins are dying. They understand that in the limited space of the pool, there is no escape for them. They are hopeless and they know that they cannot survive in those conditions and they would ultimately die in that artificial pool. Now, the last stanza is replete with a sense of confinement and claustrophobia. Now, you know what is sense of confinement. So it denotes the confinement of the dolphins, and then it also suggests claustrophobia. Claustrophobia means extreme fear of being confined at a particular place. So the fear that arises in us because of confinement, that is called claustrophobia. So the dolphins are undergoing through this claustrophobia. We realize that the dolphins' loss includes not only the expansive ocean but also a limitless sky. So they have lost the limitless sky also. Now the sky also is not clearly visible to them. It is certain that they have lost their natural habitat, that is the expansive ocean, but at the same time it is also equally true that the sky is no longer visible to them, and that is denoted by the line that the moon has disappeared for these dolphins. And the colored ball which they balance, that functions as a sickly substitute to the splendid sphere of the night sky, that is moon. And then the circle well-worn groups of water on a single note. Now in this, notice the word a single note. Now this single note depicts the sense of monotony, and it not only refers to the monotony of movement and activities of the dolphins, but it also refers to the monotony of sound in the lives of the dolphins. What are these sounds? The sound of the whistle, which is blown by the man to control and regulate the activities of the dolphins, and the sound of the song of the loss of freedom, which every day they hear. So this monotony of sound is extended into the next line, where the speaker says, music of loss forever from the other's heart, which turns my own to stone. Now one remarkable quality that we must understand that the dolphins embodies, and this quality is clearly lacking in human beings, and we are talking of the quality empathy. Now we need to understand that what empathy means. Empathy is always substituted with the word sympathy, but sympathy and empathy are completely different words. Sympathy is of earlier origin and empathy is of later origin. Sympathy means to feel sorry, pity for the suffering of other people. Only when we have a feeling of compassionate, pity, sorrow for the suffering of other people, that is called sympathy. Empathy means we feel compassionate, sorry and pity for the suffering of the other people, and at the same time we have the capability of putting ourselves in such situations. So if we can put ourselves under such situations, then it is called empathy. So like most social animals, dolphins have a developed sense of communication. Now we know that the dolphins use high frequency sounds, that is echolocation, to communicate with each other. Now it is quite natural that how the music of loss for one dolphin should be instantly detected by another. And also when you see the internal rhyme, my own to stone, and the brilliant imagery of death and heaviness. There is the brilliant imagery of death and heaviness. Now, this brilliant imagery of death and heaviness is conjured by the use of words stone, and that is fully realized when the dolphin, like the stone, sinks in the next line. Okay. The dolphin, like the stone, sinks in the next line. So just like a stone sinks in water, same way the dolphin also sinks to death. And that completes the imagery of death. The plastic toy in this stanza not only highlights the artificial external addition to the dolphin's life, but also refers to the dolphins themselves, for they have become toys in the hands of man. The dolphins sink to the limits of the pool, but their freedom to do so isn't just restricted by the bottom of the pool, for they are free to do those activities only until the whistle blows. So the last line of the poem betrays a sign of fatalism and hopelessness, which weighs down these magnificent creatures. There is a man, and our mind knows we will die here. Now, the fact that they are fully aware of their inevitable death, that they are dancing to the tunes of man, despite this knowledge, and moreover that there is nothing they can do about it, imbues this poem with a dark reality which throws up an uncomfortable truth before us and presents before us a reality which we have had a hand in making. Thus, by giving a voice to the voiceless creatures and pointing out the crimes man has committed against other life forms, the poem emerges as a fine example of eco-critical writing. As mentioned earlier, the entire monologue uses a plural instead of an I. So always we is used instead of an I, and this we suggests that this is not an isolated case. The case of the dolphins is not an isolated case. This is the fate of many other animals. The mode of oppression exercised by man extends over to a large number of creatures, and also on certain sects in our own race as well. So this sense of solidarity of the oppressed, highlighted by the collective noun we, lends a great magnitude to the voice of the oppressed. The poem can also be seen as a commentary on the power relation between man and vast swaths of society that have faced the full force of oppression based on their gender, race, caste, creed, or nationality. The poem bears a strong feminist undertones, by the virtue of which we could be used to designate women who have been marginalized in the socio-economic power structures deeply embedded in our society. The repeated use of man as the oppressor to the collective us lends some weight to this reading. Thus, one could argue that by using the troop of animals, Carroll and Duffy is also highlighting the forms of oppression within human society, where various sections of the society are denied agency and whose lives have been reduced to mere existence. So, it not only depicts about the oppression meted out to the animals, but also oppression meted out to the women by man. So in the human society also there are different forms of oppression, and these forms of oppression is also highlighted in the poem just by taking the example of the troop of animals or the dolphins. So that brings us to the end of the poem. Thank you and stay blessed.